Good morning. Welcome back to Tech Talk Live. Today I'm excited. I'm excited every time, right? Yeah, but today, I've connected with Lori Anastos and super excited to be able to introduce you to her. She's been a long time tech in the nail industry as well. So, yay, exciting. Monday, well, here it's Monday morning. Don't we know that however we start our week, it seems to have a flow for the whole week? Well, today the sun is shining. It's not too cold, not too hot. Coffee, good conversation. So if our whole week goes the way it starts, my week is going to be phenomenal. So hopefully it's the same way for all of you guys as well. Yep. Good morning, Lori. Come join me on screen. Good morning, Vonda. Hi, Desi Doo. Courtney. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Hi, Lori. Good morning.
Hi. How are you, Amy?
We're doing morning, Anita. We're already having people sign on and saying good morning. I'm great. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Yay. So I was just saying that if we can start our Monday off with, great weather, sunshine, cup of coffee, and a good conversation, that always sets the tone for the whole week. So I'm pretty sure this means that we're all going to have a really good week.
I think so too. I know I am.
Yeah. Wonderful. So I know you were saying today's your day off and you had just had this huge to-do list. So at least we can start it off going, Tech Talk Live? Check.
Check, 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 check. I've probably
Yeah.
got 4 items checked off, so we're in good shape.
Oh my goodness. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, welcome to Tech Talk Live, Lori.
Thank you.
I'm
It's good to
excited
be
to
here.
introduce you to everybody. Wonderful. Oh my gosh, we even have Kirsty Meekin joining us, which I get to see Kirsty in a few months. I'm super excited. So
Hi,
good morning,
Kirsty.
Kirsty. Wonderful. Well, Lori, we are actually here to get to know more about you in the industry because you as well has been in, you've seen a lot of changes and stuff like that. So we want to just kind of get to know where you got started and how did you get into the nail industry?
Well, I started right after high school. I had met a girlfriend of a friend of my boyfriend, who now is my husband, and she owned a nail salon, and she was beautiful. She was friendly, just so sweet and successful. And I don't know why, but I was just enamored by her. And I thought, I want to be just like her. So I decided that I wanted to do nails, and that kind of started me on that track. Um, right after I graduated high school, I enrolled in manicuring school, and it probably took 3 or 4 months for me to complete it. And so that's how I started. Yeah.
Yeah. My cousin is that person for me. And like you said, she was beautiful. She seemed to have everything put together. And, sometimes it's exactly that. We just want to be like them and
Hmm.
just give it a whirl.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a long time
That
ago.
was
And so
30
we've seen
years ago.
lots of,
Actually, almost
yeah.
31 years ago, because I graduated in 87. So, yeah, I've been
Oh,
doing nails a long time, and it's
yeah.
just been awesome. I
Have
love
you
it.
ever tried and, oh, sorry. I think there's a little delay, so I
It's
apologize.
okay.
Have you ever tried a different job? Or have you always just stuck doing nails?
So when I first started out doing nails while I was building, I was a waitress. I waited tables part-time, and then I did nails part-time until I was able to build a big enough clientele to where I could support myself just solely doing nails. So I'd say I probably did that for probably at least 2 years, maybe a little longer. And then I had built enough that I was able to just do nails. And ever since
Yeah.
then, I've just done nails, nothing else.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my goodness, that's exciting though.
Yeah.
Because some of us that have been in the industry for so long, did you ever look at it as like, well, someday I'll get a real job, so until then I'll just do this?
No, I really didn't actually. I thought this is what I want to do. And I'm going to do it as long as I possibly can because I had a real passion for it back then, even
Yeah.
not as much as I do now, just because of how the industry has changed. Um, especially with nail art, which I love.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
but just everything about nails, I was very passionate about. So I just thought, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So obviously, have you worked in just different salons or have you been in the same salon the whole time?
Well, when I first started out, I started out at a salon that was in my neighborhood, and I worked there for about a year and a half. And then I got engaged, and so I knew I wanted to save money for my wedding because my folks weren't going to be able to afford to pay for my whole wedding. So I had to save some money. So I worked out of my house for probably about, I don't know, a little less than a year. And then I got married, and then I worked out of my house some more. Well, fast forward to when I was about 23, I bought a small salon. And I just, I really wanted to get back out there. And I was tired of doing nails in my pajamas and getting up at like 9 o'clock in the morning. And I just really wanted to feel more professional and get dressed up to go to work. So I bought this salon and I got a great deal on it, and it was in an awesome location. And so there's where I really started to build. I started to get referrals and walk-ins, and it was awesome. And I owned that salon probably for about 3 years, and then I sold it because my husband and I wanted to buy our first house, so I needed a down payment. So I sold the salon, used that money to for the down payment, and then I went to another salon that actually was owned by one of my clients. Um, Actually, it was her mom that owned the salon. So I went there, and I actually worked with those girls for about 15 years. At that point, I was feeling like I needed more. I wasn't really growing. I wasn't getting new clients, and I knew I needed to make a change. Right about then, I can't remember how I came across it, but I ended up going to a success seminar in San Diego. It was a 3-day over the weekend success seminar, and it was put on by a group of coaches that specialize in the salon industry. That was a game changer. It was amazing. And I ended up hiring a coach, Oscar Valencia, through that group. And I had
Yeah.
Oscar for, I don't know, maybe about a year. And he honestly just changed my game. It was
Mhm.
amazing what he helped me do. And that is when I really started growing in my profession and in my nail art, and um, just how I dealt with people. And it was truly amazing. And I don't have any regrets at all doing that. Um,
Yeah.
so when I came back from the success seminar, I knew I needed to make a change. And one of my hairstylist clients worked at a salon that they needed a nail tech. So it was convenient. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to go check it out. So I did. And it felt really good. You know how sometimes you just go somewhere and you can just feel it? I felt it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I started there, and I was happy, and I started to build more, and I started to grow, and um, it was just amazing. It was amazing. I'm still
Yeah.
there, and I love it. And so I've been there
Yeah.
almost 9 years now.
I love it. You know, they say in any big corporation, you're going to have somebody work their way up to the top. So maybe it took them about 5 years and they become the CEO. They're really only effective and good in that position for 3 years. That's it. Because you need the change, you need the new vision, you need 3 years gives them enough time to come to fruition of what they wanted to change. And then those changes are implemented, everything's going good. Then it's time to bring in a little bit more. And so some of us have been in the industry for so long and we work in the same salons. I say that there's three things that can always hold us back. And one of those three things is your environment, your salon that you're in, that maybe you don't want to outshine another tech, or maybe you've trained them, but you don't, there's just an uncomfort level sometimes. And so you changing your environment alone, sometimes even just redecorating your environment can do that. you feel like it's brand new again.
Mhm.
You're doing the same work, but it's
Mhm.
just renewed.
Right.
And so it's important to be able to do that. I'm glad that you shared that part because it's so important to not get burned out. And it really is, it starts at 3 years because you're starting to build your clientele. Maybe it's not where you wanted, you get a little frustration. Then it goes, for some reason, the next year is like an 8 year mark. They're like, do I really want to do this more? It's been 8 years. I'm not changing. I'm doing the same thing over and over. I need to raise my prices and I don't know how to do it. And so, yeah,
You
yeah,
talk about comfort zone. I was in a comfort zone with that group of girls that I was with for 15 years. And that's just what it was comfort. Nothing more, nothing less. It was just comfort. And I knew that if I wanted to stay comfortable, that I wasn't going to grow. I wasn't going anywhere. And so
yeah.
for me, that was a little bit of a challenge, but I took the risk and I'm so glad I did because I needed
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And so since you've worked in a home salon and an actual storefront salon, do you ever see yourself going back into the home salon or just staying where you are?
No, I don't think I would go back to doing nails out of my house. I really
Yeah.
enjoy having, the company of other professionals and having, I have my own private entrance because I work in a basement. It's an old
Mhm.
Victorian style house. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's
Tyler,
all good.
come on, come on, come on, come on. I'm sorry.
It's
Come on,
okay.
come on.
So I know that you were waiting for a delivery. Is that by chance a delivery coming?
No, actually, I
Oh,
think that's the lawn service for
okay.
the. I live on a green belt, so I think that's the people that service the lawn behind me.
They're just protecting
I
you.
know. I'm sorry.
No, it's hey, this is how we do it. And well, another thing, and so John Hawk is on here saying, come get refreshed on the cruise, which you guys know that
Hi,
I get to
John.
be a nail star on the cruise this year. So I'm excited about that. But one of the things that you mentioned is it took you going to an education type of event for you to have that renewal. If you would not have went, maybe it would have been, exhausting. Since then, do you continuously put yourself into situations to go to a class
Oh
or
yeah.
teach a class?
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. In fact, I try and get as much education as I can. I've got two kids, 13 and 15, so I'm busy with them as well as work. So it's hard for me to take time off often.
Yeah.
I always try and go to one or two shows a year. And then in the meantime, I try and get education online just to
Yeah.
keep me going. So I think education
Absolutely.
is so important and taking classes so you can learn new trends. You can, if you're stuck
Mhm.
on something, there's always going to be somebody out there that can help you get to where you need to be. I think
Yeah.
education is very important. Yeah.
Yeah. And being able to use social media has
Mhm.
made it a lot easier
Oh,
because if you can't travel or it's international or something like that,
right.
we can still link up. And of course, Tech Talk Worldwide, that was our goal was to bring education, and that's to the text. And that's actually how we started the interview process is that people thought that some of the big companies were the people were unapproachable. And I'm like, no, I've been to many shows and I've talked with many people. I know they're very approachable. Just message them and tell them you like their products and you want to continue on. Is there any tips or tricks? Or I'm having a struggle with this. Can you help me troubleshoot? And they will respond to you.
Hmm.
And so sometimes I'll say we have the videos on our website, and sometimes I'll say we have them uploaded on YouTube, but it is accessible. And so being able to use Tech Talk Live to, mix into people like you and I that have been in the industry for many years, we have so much knowledge. We want to see you succeed.
Right.
Someday we want to retire and know that our clients are being taken care of.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I love learning new things and then bringing them back to the salon.
Hmm.
I absolutely love that.
Yeah. Do your clients ever come in and say, okay, what are we doing today? And they just leave it up to you?
Sometimes I usually ask for a little guidance because if they say do what you want, I have so many things I can do that it
Yeah.
just is overwhelming for me. So I can
Yeah.
say, oh gosh, do I want to do this or this or this or this? And I just say, give me a color, just give me an idea, give me a picture and tell me what you like about it. And then I'll go from there. So yeah.
I'm in a little bit of trouble right now. One of our members of the group sent me a whole bunch of candy as a thank you from Ireland, and she sent me a card with it. And this is the card. Okay. So it's been sitting on my side table because it's just a beautiful card
Right.
anyways. And my client goes, "Can you do that on my nails?" And I was like all of it or like just the cherry blossoms or just a bridge? And she's like, "I love it. I want that on all my nails." And I'm like, "Well, unfortunately, I cannot do that at this appointment because it's only for 1 hour. And obviously that's going to take me longer. But if you really want that sometime." So she's like, "I do." So her next appointment, we marked off 3 hours because it's going to be a Phil plus art.
Mm-hmm.
Why did I say yes?
It's going to be amazing.
We'll see. We'll see how it works out. So, where do you pull inspiration? Because I know that you specialize with nail art.
Mm-hmm.
So, where do you pull the inspiration for different things?
Um, Online, Instagram is a biggie for me. I spend a lot of time on there searching, and I've got several different nail techs that I love their work, and I get a lot of inspiration from looking at pictures on Instagram. Some Pinterest. Um,
Mhm,
those are pretty much my two go-tos because there's
mhm.
so much on there. It can be overwhelming, but
Yeah.
you know, I probably spend a little more time online than I should looking at nails. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
know. Isn't it funny? You can like search for like, pink bicycle nail art or something like that. And then you're on there and pretty soon you're not even looking at bicycle nail art. You're on something else.
I know there's a big rabbit trail going that way.
Yeah. One of the things that I really love about using Instagram and like Nail Art Gallery and TikTok Worldwide and that is that if we have a question of what products they used, we are talking to the artist.
Mm-hmm.
We can message them and say, "Thank you for the inspiration of posting this picture of a client who would like to do this. However, I'm just curious of the steps that you took."
Mm-hmm.
And that helps so much.
Yeah.
And so I love that networking
Me too.
of doing that.
Me
Yeah.
too. I always try and respond to people that ask me what color I used or how I did it, or I always try and respond because I
Yeah,
think that's
absolutely.
important.
Yeah. So Deb said, "Just jumped in. Who's your special guest and what's the topic today?" Well, Deb, we're just talking about being long timers in the industry. This is Lori.
Hi,
And
Deb.
so we're just talking about our experiences. And so if you have any questions from two long timers, we're kind of here for you. And then Michaela says, "Lori, she wants to know what your Instagram is."
My Instagram is Lori_nails.
Perfect. Yep. So we'll get some followers. So what we'll do on that is in the comments, we'll add your Instagram
Okay.
on there so people can follow you that way.
Okay.
I see Carmel's on here, and Carmel, I was actually just talking, Carmel's the one that sent me this card.
Oh, hi,
So
Carmel.
I have to watch on replay about what this card is doing to me. I might need more candy to get through it. Okay. Melanie says, "Do you ever look at non-nail inspo as well?" Yeah.
um, sometimes, but mostly it's nails. If I have an idea um, of a color scheme that I want to find, I'll go for that. But generally, if I'm on Instagram and somebody wanted pink and purple in their nails, I'll type in pink and purple nails so that I can get just different, because everybody has different variations. So that's pretty much what I do for inspiration.
Yeah, I pull it like that from a card, like the shirt, maybe somebody might come in, maybe instead of a green background, we'd, do a little brighter or something, but you can pull inspiration from anything.
Mm-hmm.
One of the areas that I always find that I want to mimic is almost tattoos or a mandala, type of thing. Sometimes it's henna,
Mm-hmm.
and that design on nails is just something I've always, been interested in. So
Yeah.
sometimes I'll scroll through that. So on my Pinterest, I have a board that's called Nails to Do. And as soon as I've done them, I delete them out of there so that I can just pin more.
Right.
But it does so when I don't have an idea and somebody comes in, I do the same thing as you do. I ask them, I'm like, okay, you're gonna have to help me out with some color choices here. Like once I have some colors in my head, then it all just comes. And I think it's important too that we know our clients.
Right.
We've done them for long enough. We know their style that we know not to throw pink at them if they're not a pink person,
Right.
or glitter.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Lisa says a lot of her clients bring her Pinterest pictures,
Hmm.
and I do. Yeah, I have a lot of that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I usually ask people to bring a picture of what they have an idea of. And so I usually will try not to copy an exact picture because
Mhm.
I like to put my own flair into it. So I will take certain aspects of different nails and then I might add something else or a different color or just so that I can make it unique.
Yeah. My clients call it Amy eyesing it.
Oh,
So do your clients say it's a Lori eyes?
I'm going to tell them that's what it is.
It's the Lori eyes in it. That's your own flair. I know I've had people multiple times through my career come in and say, I want those spirals on my nails. And I'm like, okay. So I think that I'm delivering them what they want. And I'm doing spirals, but really what they wanted was flares. And they spent all the time doing spirals. And they're like, well, those are kind of too curly. Can you do it? And it's like, okay. So I like seeing the picture, but now, instead of me just starting the artwork, I'll either draw it on a piece of paper or kind of give them an idea on one nail. Is this what you're talking about? Because I want to make sure and then communicate with them because sometimes what they come in with is not at all what they want
Right,
or what they're telling us.
right.
Yeah.
I'll do that sometimes too, so that way you're not wasting time through the appointment, giving them something that they're not going to be happy with.
Yeah, yeah. So Lisa says on here too, she goes, I have a hard time when someone says, do what you want.
Oh, it's so hard. I
Yeah.
really
So
struggle
how
with that.
do you guys then do, so you guys know that I teach workshops, so I always have a set of like 10 tips behind me of a different nail art. And so those, my clients can see those. And so usually that seems to be the first place that they go these days is they just go see what I've been working on and then they pick one. And so those of you that use like color pops and stuff like that, or pictures, like I've showed you guys where I use the Groove Book and it's a little photo album with nothing but nail art pictures in there. And so, do you use anything like that to in your salon, or do you just wing it?
I used to use the color pops, and then they would get dusty, and and then in order to change one or add one, you had to take another away. Or so I finally just did away with all of that, and now I just use my Instagram. And
Yeah,
I tell people go online, Instagram, Pinterest, wherever, and find some pictures that you like, and then just show me that. And then if people want to see what I've done, then I just give them my Instagram. And then they say, oh, I
yeah,
want that or that. And of course, I've already done it. So it's easy
yeah,
after that.
yeah. So, do you Photoshop your pictures before you post them on there, or do you just do it as real life
Oh, I
salon?
definitely edit them. I,
You do.
I do. And here's why. Colorado is really dry. And even if you have them wash their hands right when they're done, a lot of times
Yeah.
they can't wash their hands if you've done stones or different embellishments because the glue will turn white if it gets wet and it's not dry. So I can't have them wash their hands right before I take the picture. And then using oil sometimes will mess up the finish of the nail or um, so the cuticles are usually dry and
Yeah.
it doesn't look very good. So I always go on and edit the cuticles so that they look nice because
Okay.
I don't want
Yeah.
to post pictures where they look dry. Even if the nail art looks good and the nail shape and everything looks good, if the cuticles look bad, it just ruins the picture. So yeah,
That's true.
I've got some really good apps that I use to edit my photos. I'd be happy to share them.
Yeah, I get frustrated with any of that, and I'm like, well, this is real nail salon pictures. I don't want people to see my pictures and then have a misillusion. Like, you know how sometimes people alter the shapes, they alter the nail art, they
Right.
put bling stuff on it. And so the people come in saying, well, you did these nails and they looked this way,
Hmm.
and this is what I want, but that doesn't match the picture. And so
Right.
I've always been real. I I even though I don't use polish, I still use Solar Speed Spray because it's not too oily. But one of the tech talks that I did with Daria Keenan, I'm not sure if you've seen any of her work. Her work is phenomenal. Her pictures are always perfect. And so I was talking to her about editing and stuff, and she says, nope, her trick is baby wipes.
Oh,
She says after she's done, she sits with baby wipes and it nourishes the skin. It doesn't cloud up the nail. It doesn't mess with any of the art that might, still be setting. Because we know that as a nail comes out of the light, it takes a moment for it to come back off of the heat to create a high gloss. So if you immediately put oil on a nail afterwards, you're going to faintly see that line. And so there's things that we don't think about when it comes to the longevity. We're thinking about getting a picture, but we're not thinking that by hand washing or whatever is actually getting in there before it's completely set. And so, anyways, baby wipes was what she used. And I still haven't tried it, but I was like, I need to go buy some baby
I'm
wipes.
definitely going to try that then. I would
Yeah,
love to
yeah.
try that because editing can take some time,
Oh my gosh.
going
I have
in
no
and
patience for it.
yeah. I don't edit the nail art. I don't edit the shape. I don't edit anything on the actual nail, but
Yeah.
just around the cuticle area where it looks dry, that's the only thing I edit.
Keep it.
So,
It's so true. We can, and us as techs, aren't we a little bit critical that when we see a super nice nail that we're like, oh, if they would have just oiled the cuticle just a
mhm,
little bit.
mhm,
But we understand why they don't oil it.
mhm.
Like we don't want it to compromise anything while it's still on there.
Right.
Yeah, so true. The tricks that we've learned along the way, huh?
Yeah, I'm definitely trying that baby wipe trick though.
Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Vonda says she needs a class on taking pictures.
Oh,
So,
mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'd be
speaking
happy
of
to
which,
help with that too.
I would say you and I talked a little bit on our pre-live, and one of the things that you are interested in is the education side of it.
Mhm.
And so, what part of the education are you wanting to expand into?
I'm not exactly sure. When my kids are old enough to where I can focus more on that, I would like to travel down the road and be able to educate doing nail art and structure and shaping but nail art is my passion. So that I would really like to focus on. Um, and I would love to do that. I would love to give education and to teach people what I know. I have 30 years
Ah,
experience. So that would be.
it
Are
did a
you back?
freeze frame.
Freeze frame.
Yeah, sorry about that. Sometimes we don't know what Facebook or internet or whatever we'll do. You just wing
Right.
it. Izzy wants to know if you could share the apps that you use for the cuticles.
Sure. Hang on one second.
And then I have to say, Jenny is on here, and apparently she's a coworker of yours,
Hi,
and she says that
Jenny.
you inspire her every single day, of course, with a big old heart. And I can see that it would be so much fun to work with you as well. I can
Thank
see
you,
that.
Jenny. Love you.
Okay. So another Jennifer says, I would also edit the cuticle problems. I live in Alberta and the cuticles can be horrific in the
Mhm.
wintertime. Oh, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
the two apps that I use, one is called Photo Editor Plus, and it has a black background and a colorful butterfly in the middle of the black background. And the next one is Photoshop Fix. That has it's black with a blue rim, and then it's got a blue rimmed circle in the middle with a plus sign. So those are my two faves.
Yeah. And isn't it amazing too that most of these apps, their basic part of them, they're all free. It
Mm-hmm.
really is just you capturing a decent picture in the salon and then changing, the time goes
Yeah.
into it, but it doesn't cost anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So obviously there's still more people, like Beth and Tina and everybody saying hello.
Hi,
So do you guys
guys.
have any questions for our Lori today? So and then with that, I do have a question. So you said you like to specialize in the artwork side of it. Um, isn't it kind of funny to watch all the trends and then watch them come back again?
It
So
is.
yeah. So what's one of your favorite go-tos that you just really enjoy doing that you've not gotten tired of?
Um, as far as newer trends go, I would say the alcohol ink. I love
Yeah.
working with alcohol ink. I'm not really uh, experienced per se with using it because I just started using it a few months ago, but I am having a lot of fun with it. I really am. And I would like to continue to grow doing that, just getting different looks. So I'm trying to get people to do that.
Yeah.
Another go-to is I do a lot of hand painted nail art. So I like line work, um, just anything hand painted. I don't use
Yeah.
any decals. I don't use the only thing that I stick on a nail is going to be um, Swarovskis or like the little gold gems or the beads or crystal pixies. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. When you said alcohol inks, it triggers with me because that's actually what I love doing the alcohol ink with the art on top of it.
Oh yeah.
And there's even some of them where it's like a bird and it's just colorful and the background's just alcohol inked and then you draw the bird. And so that's exactly what I look for when I search for tattoos. I look for like the watercolor tattoos or,
Oh
something
yeah.
like that. So
Yeah.
yeah. Oh my gosh, so
Yeah.
funny.
Another thing that I'm
Um,
trying to experiment with is watercolor, doing different
oh yeah.
watercolor nail art with flowers and just different designs, maybe even watercolor, and then doing art on top of it.
Mhm.
I love that look as well. But
So beautiful.
it's so hard to have time to be able to practice everything. So I will focus on one thing for a while, and then when I feel comfortable with it, then I'll start focusing on something else, and then focus
Yeah.
on that.
Yep, absolutely. What's your favorite mediums to use for your art? Like, do you like to use acrylic paints, gel polishes?
I use gel paint and gel polish for what
Mhm.
if
So then,
I I have over 300 colors of gel polish. I know I have a problem. I'm not gonna lie. I can't stop
yeah,
buying
me
it.
too.
I can't. But so I only have maybe 20 colors of gel paint. I have, my basics. But if I need a color that I don't have in gel paint, then I will use gel polish.
Mhm. Yeah,
So those are
yeah.
my few
And I've learned,
favorites.
yeah, I've learned that if I mix, because sometimes the gel paint's a little bit thicker,
Yeah,
and so if I mix it with a little bit of gel polish, it's the
perfect
perfect
consistency.
consistency. Yes. What I like about using gel polish and gel paints is once I get to a certain point that I really like, I can set it in the light and then I can do something on top of it. If I don't like it, then I can wipe it off and then keep trying. So it's like
Right,
my baseline didn't go away.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do the same thing with mixing the gel paint and the gel polish together.
Yeah. So Deb wants to know, do you do acrylics and gel or just one or the other?
I do acrylics. I do gel polish. I don't do hard gel. Actually, I can. I just don't specialize in it because I have not used hard gel enough to feel comfortable with it. So, but I specialize in acrylic and in gel polish, just gel manis. Mostly
Yeah.
acrylic though.
We find most people do. Their comfort levels with one versus the other.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you can't do both,
Hmm.
but do you know how expensive it is that when you're a tech and you're trying to make money, but yet you're holding all these different product lines to accommodate maybe the one person that wants the one product over
Right.
the other? And then you truly don't get to just specialize in one because the techniques may be a little bit different. The setting is a little bit
Right.
different. The finish filing might be a little bit different even
Yeah.
because one, finish files more than the other. And so it is, it's worth it financially and it's worth it for your mindset to just stick with the one.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, so true. Thanks, guys, for all these great comments. I know Lisa and Vonda are talking about doing the extra classes and line detail art and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. So Tina says, she goes, I use a lot of decals that encapsulate them. I used to use bits out of papers, magazines back in the day. Oh my gosh, so true. I can't draw due to my eyesight, so these are great for this reason.
Definitely.
So true.
Definitely.
The that brings up a memory of me. There was a beer festival in our town. I mean, this was in the 90s. And she wanted Budweiser labels across her fingernails. And of course, the art wasn't as is today. Like today, I probably would try it by hand. But I remember taking the label and putting it on a copier. And you know how you can shrink the image?
Yeah.
I just kept copying and shrinking until I could finally get it. And I cut it off and put it on the nail.
Oh,
But I remember like having a stack of papers with Budweiser labels all over them, trying to get it down, 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 down. It's so funny.
I
Uh,
love it.
the things that we try to do. Deb says, thank you for that. Yes, it's tough to specialize in both. Totally different application processes.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. You know, the prep and stuff might be the same, but it really is different.
Yeah.
Um, Lori should try genre. So genre is a technique. So I don't have like there's not a specific product line for it, but it's combining gel polish, which you're a fan of, with acrylic powder,
Oh,
and you can sculpt with it and everything. It's certain ones that you have to have, but yeah, that's what she's referring to. It's pretty fun.
awesome.
Yeah.
I'll have to try it.
Yeah. So John says, I have so much products. I give more away than I have. I know, isn't that so
It's
true?
so true. I actually, and Jenny will attest to this, I had to ask Jenny for more storage because I can't stop buying product. So she
Yeah.
had to buy a new drawer tower for me so that I had room to store more things. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying, so I don't know if you guys can see, I'll move the camera. See these polish racks over here? I have four filled.
Oh, wow.
And I used to have like my glitters on there, my stripers on there, color changing on there. Like my nail art was also on there. Now I have a brand new cabinet just for nail art because all four of them are filled with gel polish. And I just did a giveaway because what I realized is that so Nail Alchemy sent me a whole bunch of products. I had all these brand new bottles and I really like their product. And every time I opened one that looked similar to a color I already had, I put that color aside. And
Mhm.
then I went back through because there's some of them I just couldn't
I
like
know.
like separate with. Like there's just some of my favorites. And so anyways, I did a big giveaway and even though some of the products were new, most of them were used. I gave them away to another tech and kind of ran a competition through here. Amazing feeling to do that. So every now and then it's worth it for us to give that away because if not, it goes bad. We get so many, the shelf life is bad on them.
Yeah.
And
I'm going
even
to
though
have
we
to
know
do
that,
that.
yeah, and so it feels good to do that. But here's what I found. It just made room for more.
Exactly. But then you have lots of new stuff instead of just some new stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Do you make a budget for yourself that every month you get to do something like that?
No.
Yeah.
I don't buy a lot of stuff every month. I do save up for the nail shows because I get a lot of stuff at the nail shows or at the beauty shows. Um, I want to go and I just want to buy anything I want. So I will start saving months in advance so that I'm not, going into debt on my credit card. So I
Yeah.
have money saved that I can spend without
Mhm.
feeling guilty. So I
Yeah.
I buy a lot of stuff at the nail shows, and then in between the nail shows, I will obviously restock popular colors that I am running out of. I have a backup of everything. I have a backup drill, I have a backup light, I have backups of everything because I don't want to be left if something happens. I don't want to be left, you know,
Yeah.
in trouble. So it's the same with the colors. If I'm running out of a color and somebody wants it, I want to have a backup. So I'm pretty
Hmm.
diligent as far as that goes with making sure that I've got a backup of everything. So
Yeah.
I will buy that in the meantime. Um, and then same with glitters and just products in general.
Yeah.
And then if I feel like seasonally, I go through a spurt where I'll go to websites that sell like D&D. I love D&D polishes, and so they're
That's
very inexpensive. So I go on there and yeah, I kind of have a heyday, and I'll do that seasonally. But
yes. Yes, I've tried to many times become a rep for D&D, and I've I man, I've had all my friends out there saying they don't speak English. They are based out of California. It says made in the USA, but we're pretty sure it's not. But you can't beat their I do love their product,
yeah,
but
good
you
polish.
just can't get on with them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had to laugh a little bit because earlier we talked about that you would love to be able to teach nail art, travel around and all of that. Well, I think what you've done and not realized it is that you've already created your side kit that you can keep it packed up with your extra light, your extra polishes and all of that. You're just ready to go. You just haven't made the leap yet.
Yep. Yeah. I've got my kit ready to go. I just need something to carry it in.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. That's awesome. That's all you, that's your one thing holding you back, huh?
Yep.
Oh gosh. I was scrolling through and I hit the wrong button. I'm really sorry. Let's see. So Tina says, John, I did the same. I gave all my stuff away when I gave up 8 years ago. Two young girls starting up. Just kept a few bits and now I'm starting to build it all back up. Wish I could live by John or Amy. I know where I'd go borrow bits. I know, oh my gosh. I've actually done that. Like I've gone into other salons and I see something like my sister got married over the weekend, so we all got, our hair professionally done in a salon. And I could not keep myself away from that nail tech table. I just wanted to sit there and like go through her drawers and see what she had. I looked at all the stuff on the racks. And so I finally asked the hairdresser, I go, "Do you guys have a nail tech in here? I see the table, but it looks like it's not used. Like it's completely cleared off." And she was like, "We don't." And I was like, "Oh my gosh." Like just for that day, I would love to just set up shop in that salon and just say walk-ins because I have not been able to do anything like that in so many years. Like, have you ever had a day where you can just I have walk-ins available and just take anybody off the street?
No,
Yeah, but wouldn't it be
it
fun?
would be fun. Yeah, I would love that. Go to a salon in
Maybe,
maybe the other side of town or something and just, yeah, that would be a blast.
yeah, maybe we should start something like that to where it's just well, of course, you'd have to do it within your own state because your license would have to cover that.
Right.
And then the independent contractor license, we'd have to find a way to do it because there's some restrictions on there. But I still think that it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So Lisa says, repeat after me. My name is Amy, and I'm a shopaholic. So true. Oh my gosh.
I'm not going to deny it.
Yeah. So that's kind of, when you say you go to shows and you save up a budget and stuff for that. I teach a workshop that I teach them to put a budget in there for something new because it keeps you inspired. And
It
sometimes it can
does.
be a $5 budget will buy you glitters or foils or whatever, and a
Absolutely.
$10 budget will buy you a new brush. And so we think that we need to have this huge budget, and you don't. However, when
Mhm.
you go to a show, you have to have a bigger budget. I'm going to be at the Utah Nail Show this weekend, and I know Wildflowers is going to be there. Erica's
Oh,
ATA bits are going to be there. I want some more bits, and I am doing the exact same thing. I'm like, I need to preset a budget before I go
yeah.
because I don't know how to filter it at a show.
You can't. There are too
No.
many vendors. There are too many new trends. There are too many colors. There are too many things you want to try. I mean, it would be
Mhm.
hard to set a budget and then not be able to buy something that you really want to try or buy. It'd be
Yeah,
really hard.
yeah. We're going to go live from the show.
Oh,
I
great.
don't know. Yeah, I don't know if they'll let us go live, walk in the aisles and stuff like that, because sometimes they're like, well, if they don't come to the show, it's more private or whatever. But I'm gonna try it, so we'll see.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm excited, Lori, for you to be able to take the next step. And I understand the children. I waited for my children to be older before I decided to get back into more than just a salon, environment, like get out there with education. I appreciate that you say that because
I'm sorry. There's my delivery. Hold that thought. Ah! I will be right back.
okay. Yeah. So, anyways, I'll just chit chat with you because I forgot what it was saying actually. When it comes to the education and stuff, though, it's important for us that when we want to reach out and go to the next step or we want to grow a little bit, it's important for our family life to be settled and support that because trying to juggle family and all of that, especially through the teen years when your kids need you, I think the most. And if we're self-focused onto something else, even though we want it financially to help them and we can make it in our mindset that I'm doing this to help my family, your presence in your family is actually more important. And so, yeah,
I'm back.
I was just
Sorry.
talking about, yes, no, it's okay. And so the struggling with the juggling of the family life and stuff, it's important to put that family first because once they're on their platform where their level and everything is good and you have a system, then you can grow a little bit more.
Right.
But we do this for our family and we have to put them first. And so I respect that you're just given a little bit of time. I did the same thing. And I've seen many educators have little babies and they're traveling around and behind the scenes, we're out to having lunch with the educator and they're like checking on their child and the stress of all of that I could not imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, absolutely.
It's
Juggling.
it's really hard, especially when your kids are little, because they require so much more time. And so it's hard to keep a happy medium.
Yeah.
When they start to get a little bit older and they have more independence, then that kind of gives you freedom. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And then sometimes you think, oh, they're good. They don't need me. They're gone all the time. Anyways, but guess what? That's sometimes when they need you the most.
Yeah, yeah,
They get to those teen years. Well, you have two teens. You get to the teen years and there's different struggles. There's different things. You're
right.
not, yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I kind of miss those days, but in a way, I'm kind of glad that I'm a little bit of an empty nester. I've been an empty nester for 2 weeks.
yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you're getting used
Oh,
to that now.
actually, I called my daughter. We Marco Polo each other. So it's like texting, but you can see each other, and then whenever they have time, they can see it. So that way it's a little bit more personalized. Anyways, I Marco Polo her, and even our TikTok girls, they actually introduced me to Marco Polo. So we Marco Polo each other constantly. And so I was like, I got back into town last night and she came in for a moment, changed out her laundry, and then had to head back in because her college is like 30 miles away. And I was like, that was not enough time for me to see you. I just want you to know that I need a mommy daughter day. And I don't care if it has to be on Marco Polo or in person, but we need to schedule that out because I miss you. I don't like this you to go off to college thing. And she messaged me back. She was still in bed. It woke her up. She was sleeping. She's like, Mom, I was just trying to sleep in on this Monday morning and I love you too. And then I felt really bad because if she was here in the home, I would have told her, like, oh, just sleep. Like, I'll be quiet. But she's gone and I don't want her to.
Oh, yeah, we have a
Yeah.
few years before we're going to be empty nesters, so, but it's coming fast. It goes by so fast, the time, it flies by.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
There are those days that you think are endless, though, aren't there?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing in the salon. Do you ever find that you kind of have to babysit some of your clients that you have to call them to remind them of their appointment? Try to keep them on track. This is how much you owe, like even though it's always been the same. Do you find that you have to do any of that or your client's pretty trained?
My clients are pretty trained. However, I confirm each and every client the night before via text, and I give it a couple
Yeah.
hours. And if I haven't heard back from them, then I reach out to them again just to make sure that they got my text. Um, I have a lot of things that I do. I juggle my schedule. I call myself a master juggler because, for instance, for tomorrow, yesterday I had 3 clients text me needing to move their appointment. So I can't just put them in another spot because I don't have any spots. What I have to
Oh,
do is I have to look at the rest of my schedule and say, okay, she's flexible. She's flexible. They have the same time slot. So I can put her over here and her over here. And so I'll spend sometimes an hour or two just trying to get a hold of people to see
yes.
if they're willing to change their appointment. But that's one of the ways that I stay full all the time, is because I'm able to do that. And some people don't even think about doing that. They might think, oh, well, I guess I'll see you in 2 weeks. Well, then you're losing out on that income, and that's not good.
Yeah.
So I learned to do that years ago. So my clients are also used to me.
Yeah.
And they know that there's a possibility that I might try and get a hold of them. Holly! Gosh, I'm so sorry. Holly! Holly! Holly!
I love,
Come here.
like, your setting looks so picturesque. Like, you have the most beautiful colors, the chandelier, you're in there. Like, it just is so beautiful.
Thank you.
Our next tech talk is going to be a tour of Lori's house.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you send it through, because a lot of people get at these apps that, and most of them we have to pay for if you have more than so many clientels on them, and you can only message them one time per month, or you're charged per, time. So do you just do it right there? Do you have your phone numbers, or do you do it through Messenger?
So I don't use an app for scheduling. I am old school. I use an appointment book. I write it in pencil. I use an eraser to move people around. I cannot get myself to use a scheduling app. And I know for a lot of people it is amazing, but I'm just really stuck in my ways as far as scheduling goes. And that's what works for me. For instance, if I have just a second to look, it would be harder for me to log in, go to the day, scroll down, try and find somebody. I can just look at a whole day on one page and say, okay, I can do this, this, and this, and this. And then I've got that in my mind. So I text them just with their phone number. I've got obviously everybody's contact in my phone book, and then I will just text them to confirm their appointments. And, but I don't use a scheduling app at all.
Yeah. My doctor, I went and got my teeth cleaned a few weeks ago. In the dentist office, the lady in the office has her own cell phone number just for texting people to remind them of their appointments. Of course, they give you the card at the appointment, then they mail you the postcard with it, and then they're texting you with it, because so many people are finding that just one sometimes isn't enough. But once you have their number and you can text them, that's still the best form of confirmation.
I agree.
What's cool about Messenger, so all of my text messages and all my Facebook messages are into one through Messenger. So I don't know if I can look at it to see, are they from their phone, or is this through Facebook or whatever. And it's been that's how I contacted you. I didn't have your phone number. I don't have your email. I could have maybe went to your page. It might be on there. But Messenger is so easy. And through Messenger, it has a reminder. So you can do all of it. And so I can talk to you. I can type it in, like, would September, 30th at 3 o'clock work? And if you say yes, it will automatically prompt it to say, would you like a reminder for this? And if I hit yes, it reminds you, like, I don't know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes before the appointment. It's already there.
Oh, wow.
And I just started using that. But here's what I don't like. I'll be working on a client and my phone is dinging about halfway through, because there's a reminder that my next client's coming, and I'm doing it for them. I don't need it for me, but my phone is just dinging, dinging, dinging all the time. And I'm like, I got to turn the volume off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's things I like and things I don't.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Vonda wants to know, do you keep a separate phone for working?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
I just use my personal phone.
Yeah. Yep, that's exactly it. I haven't had any weird stuff. I have had clients that message at the oddest times, Sunday at 2 o'clock in the morning. I need to move my appointment for next week.
Right.
And you're like, at this moment, you have to text that. But you know what? I put my phone every night on airplane mode. I can disconnect. You have to. And so you have to have your clients. Sometimes I've heard where you kind of train your clients and you tell them, text me during working hours or whatever. And sometimes we can't hold up to that. Maybe it's 9 o'clock at night and we just realized something came up. So you got to treat them the way you want to be, treated back. And so I don't like.
I tell my clients that they can text me anytime. And if it is, if I'm doing things with my family, or if I am working, or, there are some times where it might take me a few hours to get back with them, but they can text me at 2 in the morning and I won't hear it because I don't take my phone to bed with me. I keep it plugged in inside my purse so I don't forget it the next day. Because I have done that once or twice and it is not good. So I don't even have my phone to alert me while I'm sleeping, so I don't have to worry. So if they text me at 2 in the morning, it's fine. I'll get back with them the next day.
Yeah, yeah. So I do have a question on there, and I see Geneva has the same question on there. So you message them, for maybe the day before for their appointment. If you don't hear back from them, do you cancel it?
No, I don't cancel it until I actually connect with them.
Okay.
And if I don't hear back from them, and a majority of my clients are longtime clients. I have, a certain number of clients that are our newer clients. So especially if it's one of my clients that I've had for a long time and I know that they're good at getting back with me, I'm not going to cancel their appointment until I actually hear from them. If it's a newer client and they don't text me back after I've texted them, 2 or 3 times, and it's, 4 hours before their appointment, I'm going to start filling their appointment at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's the difference is because this conversation comes up a lot in our group
Yeah.
of like, what do you do? Do you accept deposits? Which I even our doctors, so in the US, I think it's just so different because internationally they're used to putting deposits down for all of these different things. In the US, we don't. Like, we don't have to put a deposit down to go to our doctor. We don't have to put a deposit down unless it's like utilities or something. So it's odd to ask for a deposit, but they actually have non-refundable deposits. And so when the question comes up of like, my appointment hasn't confirmed back, I'm going to keep their deposit and then fill the appointment. I'm over here going, no, you can't do that. What if they show up? Then you have 2 people. Like it would stress me out. And so I understand, the how everybody does it so different because it is different around the world. But it's one of those things I'm always fascinated with.
I require a deposit for new clients as well. And
Do you?
yeah, I do. And just because, I will usually have other people that are on a cancellation list, maybe clients that have canceled earlier that week that I'm looking for a spot for or whatever. But I will also confirm with those clients the night before. And if they have paid me a deposit, chances are they're going to show up. So I've not had an issue with people not showing up after paying a deposit.
Yeah.
So
And do you just use like a PayPal, kind of thing?
I offer them the option of doing PayPal or Venmo, credit card or debit card. And I do my payment processing through PayPal. I have a card reader through them. And what I like about that is that it gets into your account immediately. You don't have to wait 24, 48, or 72 hours. It's there right now. So I use PayPal.
And it's easy.
And they can just go, they can leave and do it in the car and just send me the money through PayPal as well. So those are the options that I offer as far as a deposit.
Yeah. Yeah. Jenny wants to know, I'm supposed to ask Lori about her hours.
Oh, so I start work at 5 in the morning. I usually get to the salon at about 4:45, and I take my first client at 5 a.m. and I usually don't leave until between 5 and 6 at night.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Do you schedule every hour as well?
No, I schedule some clients, I schedule 30 minutes. Some clients I schedule 2.5 hours. It all depends on the service. A gel mani is 30 minutes. If I have to remove their old gel, it's 45. A rebase, if it's a rebase just with a clear coat of gel, it's 30 minutes-ish. If it's a rebase with color, are you there? You're freezing.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're back.
Okay. If it's a rebase or full set with art, it's going to be a 2 to 3 hour appointment, maybe 3.5, depending on how long they want their nails. So, yeah.
Yeah, so you kind of customize it to what they need.
I don't schedule like on the
Do you
hour.
work that every day?
No, I have only started working early, probably within the last 10 years. but I don't work that 5 days or 6 days a week. I used to work that many hours and my body just couldn't do it anymore. It was just, I was so exhausted at the end of the day. I literally could not function when I got home at night, especially if I did it more than 2 days in a row. So I cut my hours back and I work 3 days one week and then 4 days the opposite week. And then I work every other Saturday, and on my Saturdays, I'm usually out of there by anytime between 12 and 2. But every day that I work, I start at 5, and all my 5 a.m.s are booked.
Yeah. I'm more of an evening person. I've always worked the 9 to 7, but I've
Yeah.
taken my kids to school. I take my kids to school, go work out, grab breakfast, go to work. Then I pick them up from school. So I would leave the salon, which I think is important for people to do somewhere. Leave for lunch, leave for a break, leave for a walk, something, and then continue on the rest of the day. But I always worked until I work till 7:30, but now I don't start till 10:30. I
Oh,
work
nice.
10:30 to 7:30.
That's
I'm
awesome.
I'm learning a little bit, Lori.
Half my day is over by 10:30.
I know. I just can't do the mornings. I've always been more of a night person. So that's cool though that we have a job that we can work around what our comfort levels
Yeah.
are and what we need to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's also nice that we can work around time off and vacations and stuff like that. We can
Yeah.
schedule our.
April, oh, sorry.
It's okay.
April says, what do you say that when you get trash talked to for requiring deposits? That happens quite a bit. I don't accept deposits, so I've never had that. But have you ever had anybody like, well, you have to make a deposit?
No, I usually, if a new client contacts me through Instagram, and that's where I have it advertised that it's required. Um, I have a link to my services and pricing page on my website on my bio of Instagram. So if somebody contacts me and inquires about an appointment, I'll ask what they're needing, and then I'll ask them, did you have a chance to look at my services and pricing on my website? And if they have looked at it, then they know that the deposit is going to be required. And so I don't get nobody says, well, I'm not going to pay a deposit. Or if they don't want to pay a deposit, then go somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly like that. Yeah. So April, I hope that that goes away because that would be really hard. And then I wonder if it depends, like how much of a deposit do you charge?
I only charge, well, I charge a $25 non-refundable deposit. And the way that works is if, when they pay the deposit, that will go towards their service price. So if their price is $50, then the $25 will be taken off at the time of service.
Uh-huh.
If they don't show up or if they don't cancel within 24 hours of the appointment time, then I keep the deposit. But it also says that on my website.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. So April, I wonder if that would help a little bit. I'll talk to you a little bit when we're done with Tech Talk about, maybe the differences in there. Or actually, you might be the better person to maybe talk with April of, maybe coming up with a solution for
yeah.
that. Because if it
Mhm.
happens quite a bit, you don't want them to not even give you a try. You say that you require a deposit, maybe they think it's too high. Once again, I think the people that are serious will pay it and they
Mhm.
want to come to you.
And
And
it's not an
so,
unreasonable amount. I'm not asking them to pay for their service in advance. I'm just asking for them to pay a deposit. And if they
yeah.
need to cancel, by all means, let me know and I'll refund it. And that has happened where somebody said, well, I need to cancel. Can I get my deposit back? Absolutely. I will send your deposit back.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tina says, "Oh my days, sweet, you're a Wonder Woman." Those are long days.
I would rather work a few long days in a week than work more shorter days. I'd rather have more full days off than
Yeah,
split up my
yeah.
time. And then I feel like I'll end up working more hours if I split it up and
Hmm.
have, like, if I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then add Thursday, but shorten up Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, then I'm going to end up working longer on Thursday because I'll stay to do somebody. Or so
Yeah.
I prefer just doing it like
Hmm.
that.
I stay more focused on my days off of getting my to-dos done rather than
Hmm.
a half a day. I agree with
Yeah.
you. Jennifer says that, so like in the UK, the deposits are legally, I'm assuming it's supposed to be refundable, and that you should call it more of a booking fee because booking fees are non-refundable.
Hmm.
So interesting.
Okay.
That's once again, I just love the networking that we have
Yeah,
when we can talk to each other like this
that's
and learn.
interesting.
And this entire tech talk with you has been so based, like true education of like everything. Like I love what you're saying. It's wonderful.
Thank you.
April says it doesn't happen often, but it does happen occasionally, and those people don't get an appointment. Yeah, it makes it a little simpler. Oh, it scrolled up. That I'm truly never thought to ask if they have read my policy. So maybe that's the difference in there too.
Hmm. Yeah, and if you
Yeah.
have it clearly spelled out in your policy or on your website, then I feel like while people are reading that, they're going to understand better why you're charging a deposit. You know, I mean, it's basically protection for yourself because I can't tell you how many years I went through of clients not showing up and then you're like, oh, I feel bad asking them to pay for it or telling them that I'm going to tack that on to their next appointment or and I actually have a no-show policy with my current clients too. And I made like a sign and put it on my desk for about 2 months so that I was sure everybody saw it. And it was basically in a very nice way, just telling my clients that, you know, I reserve this time specifically for you. And if you don't show up, then it's time that I'm not able to give to somebody else that would
Mhm.
like a time. So,
Yeah.
and so with that said, then I will be charging X amount and my cancellation fee is $25. If it's within, like if it's a same day cancellation, I'll charge half of whatever the service was. And they have to pay it. Well, I know my regular clients that I've had for a long time are going to pay it. But if it's a new
Mhm.
client, they have to pay it before I'll see them again.
Yeah.
So you have to
Yeah.
protect yourself. I mean, time is money. And if you have
Mhm.
somebody booked in a spot and then you've got 3 other people waiting over here, then that person doesn't show up, it's too late to call somebody else to bring them in. So
Yep.
it's really
So
frustrating.
yeah.
And
And
charge,
I think that probably is the most frustrating thing that once you work so hard building your clientele that you would have that. And of course, you get to know the ones that are chronic,
mm-hmm.
the ones that you can send reminders, they go, yep. And then they have every excuse in the book. And you're like, I don't need the excuse. What I needed was for you to respect the time that was allotted
Yeah,
and just show up.
yeah.
But, and
But
then their
once they,
story changes and all that.
once
They find their way off of your book.
yeah, or once they have to pay that fee once or twice, then they don't want to pay that fee anymore, and it will become a little bit more important, I think.
Yeah, making them accountable, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah,
so true.
you do. You have
Yeah,
to make your clients accountable because, I mean,
yeah.
you're running
They
a
would make
business.
us accountable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Maybe on those same clients, I wonder if I couldn't do this. I already, just thinking about it, I couldn't do it. But what if you flipped it around and you didn't like be at your desk for 30 minutes? Make them sit there and realize the difference. I wonder if like it would be successful, like, I don't know, kind of a thing to try. Be like, well, you made me wait 30 minutes on you and you didn't tell me what you were doing. So I made you wait 30 minutes on me. They'd probably get up and walk out and then be mad, right?
Yeah,
So
or they'd be
therefore you could
calling
kind
you.
of turn that around. Yeah, maybe we should do an experiment with that. Yeah. I couldn't do it. I'm one that I call them. I'm like, "Are you okay? You know,
Me
this
too.
isn't like you," or I know this is, something that we deal with every appointment, but even if because they have to drive 30 miles to come see me.
Mm-hmm.
So if they drive out here and they've not communicated with me and it's been 30 minutes, my door is locked.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on to something else. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've had that happen and she doesn't come to me anymore. She was so mad at me. But it was the same thing. I thought, but yet for
It's
4 appointments in a
respect.
row, I've sat here. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
respect.
So,
And
yeah.
you know, I feel like if they don't have the decency to call and let you know they're running late or they're not coming, then I mean, what are you supposed to do? There's nothing else you can
Yeah.
do. You need to
Yeah.
protect yourself and your
You know
clients
how
need
good
to
it is
know.
to, yeah, you know how good it is to talk to somebody that like our minds are like this. We've been in this for so long that
Yeah.
we've tried the different things and the trials and the errors and all of that. And so it's like it seems like the people that have been in the industry as long as we have, we get it. Like it's how do I want to say that? We've tried so many different ways that this is really what works. And if we can help other ones that are just starting out understand, like, we've tried these different ways and stuff
Hmm.
like that, like, just give it a try and see what works for you.
I want to add something to clients being late. So I have one or two people that are chronically late. I mean, they're probably on time 2% of the time, literally. So
Mhm.
these people, I will tell them that their appointment time is literally 15 minutes before I actually want them there. And I use
Yeah.
that 15-minute time frame on another appointment before them. And then if she shows up on time, sorry, I'm running late today. And I pride myself on being on time. I mean, I am generally within 5 minutes, if not exactly on time for every appointment, because I've just learned how to time things to be able to do that. And
Yeah.
there are occasions where I might be running a little bit late if nail art has taken me longer than I thought it would or something like that. But my clients are generally understanding. So I would recommend, if you have clients that are always late, tell them that their appointment is 15 minutes or however late they usually are before you
Mhm.
actually want them there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, what the very first live that I did on Tech Talk Worldwide was about true colors, and it's about four different types of personalities. You have the one that's always 15 minutes early,
Yeah,
and they want you to be ready 15 minutes early.
right,
And then you have the one that's 15 minutes late. You have the one, so I'm a blue personality. If you tell me to be there at a time, I'm going to be there at that time
right.
because I know what it's like if you're too early, it's uncomfortable,
Yeah,
and I'm not going to be late.
yeah.
And so I should probably bump that up so that you can remind yourself that we can't change those
Hmm.
personalities. We have to learn to work with them.
Right,
And then, like in your case, you're like, okay, on this personality, I'm going to work it like this.
right.
It doesn't mean that it's going to work every single time the same way. Because, like you said, then they might show up on time or early and then
Right.
they have to wait. But so every time is a different thing. I really make them accountable. It's like when your appointment time is here, I will be ready.
Hmm.
And if I'm running late, I actually message them and say, it looks like I'm going to be doing some artwork that I didn't account for. So I just wanted you to know you're more than welcome to come still, but I wanted you to know I might be 5 minutes late
I do
because
the
that's what
same
I would
thing.
want them to do for
I
me.
do the same thing.
Do ya?
Yep.
Yeah. So that's so good. We're doing so good. Carmel says, "What would I do without your nail nerdiness or your nail nerd?" It already spelled out so true. I love being a nail nerd. I was not a nerd in school, let me tell you that. But later on in life, being a nail nerd, I can accept that.
That's because you
April
have a
says
lot
it's
of
just
knowledge.
yeah, yeah, we do. And you know
Mhm.
what? It's not we didn't seek out to be nail nerds. It's just because of our experiences in the industry.